And I'm going to try to show you that here on a video by pointing this wheel over to you. And I want you to watch this rim as I adjust these screws. And on the Polonaise, you want to make sure that you align the rim up to the flyer over here. You do that generally once, and unless somebody turns these for you, you're not watching the kids play with it or whatever, you do that once, and you don't have to do it very frequently at all. I mean, maybe when you change a whirl, or maybe not even then, but it does work. And when you initially set up your wheel, you want to make sure that alignment is correct. So let me show you how to do that. Okay, let's see what we can do here to show you how the adjusting screws here on the Polonaise actually work. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this wheel off to an extreme, off to the side, and these drive bands will not stay on the wheel at this angle. But you see how I was able to change the alignment of this wheel vis-a-vis the flyers over here. And let's bring it back the other way and to an extreme. And you can see we can move the rim quite a bit. We can do that on the Polonaise because we get functioning side screws over here that deflect the post. Let me finish this up, and then we'll show you how we do it with just regular posts. But let's bring this back in to where we're aiming really over the top of the wheel, right to this point here between the whirl and the bobbin. And we'll just rotate the wheel once and see how it works. We're on the inside whirl here, so if we change it to the other one, we'll just loop it over here and we won't have to adjust this. And chances are when we put on even a smaller whirl over here, we won't have to change this, and you won't have to do this on a day-to-day basis by any means. But keep the kids away, because they'll want to play with this if they find out it actually moves. Now on a regular wheel, you've got your wheel posts here, and you can't deflect them in the way we're doing here with this, but you can rotate them, which will cause the axle orientation going through the hub of the wheel to change, and you'll be able to do a limited amount of aiming of a wheel that just has standard wheel posts over here. You do that with the posts just snug to the bench, and then once you've done that rotation and got that aiming to where you like it, tighten them down underneath so that they're secure and they won't move for you. Pretty neat, huh? Okay, let's talk about a few things that on a spinning wheel might need to be replaced from time to time. Your drive band, if it's a string drive band, it will wear, particularly on a double drive wheel, and it will have to be replaced from time to time. Dogs, cats, kids, abuse, moving around, whatever will cause this to break. You want to replace your drive band with a material that's approximately the same thickness as what the manufacturer supplied with their wheel. There is a relationship between the thickness of the drive band and how these grooves are cut into the whirl and the pulley that you don't want to get too far away from if you're going to replace it. When you tie a knot up here on your drive band, there are fancy knots that people will recommend to use, a blood knot or a fisherman's bend knot, a double fisherman's bend knot. You can look on the internet and it'll show you how to tie these knots. If you want to just tie a square knot, I give you my permission to go ahead and do that. You're always going to have a little bump there for any of these knots, but pull it tight so that it's as small as possible. Your brake band on a single drive setup might need to be replaced sometimes. The tension spring on a single drive setup, the spring can be overstretched sometimes, again, mostly through abuse or misuse or a misunderstanding of what that spring should be doing. But you might need to replace that from time to time. In a pinch, a rubber band will work over here to give you that stretchiness to the brake band that you need. Let me see. Tension spring, I think we've covered that. Footman connectors. On some wheels, we'll use a flexible plastic connector, and in time they'll get old and brittle and break. But I've seen where cats and dogs have chewed on these and broken them. Same with elastic drive bands. For some reason, cats like to play with them, and they'll chew on them, and you'll have to replace these. on an elastic drive band, you can join the two ends together to have a seamless connection. You can buy your drive band already connected. You then have to fit it between the wheel posts and get it onto the wheel, or you can fuse it together yourself. It's not difficult. Leather connectors down here at the footman. These are a nice connection of the footman to the treadle, but in time they will need to be replaced. A leather shoestring will work fine. When you're using a leather down here, you might want to take your candle paraffin and coat the surface of this leather, so when it's tied together in knots holding your footman, it doesn't create any leather or squeakiness sound down there. And now I want to show you lastly how to tie the leather when you're going to use it to connect the footman to the treadle. What I like to do is at the bottom of the footman, I tie a very secure square knot. This is going to give us some padding down here at the bottom of the footman, and I'm going to tie that knot, and depending on the number of holes you have in your treadle, typically what I do is I'll put these two ends down through a hole here, pull them through, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this knot and I'm going to pull it right down securely into that hole as best I can. And I've got a good connection here now between the footman and the treadle, and in between I've got this somewhat soft leather that acts as a cushion, but when one thing moves now, they both move. There's no loosiness down here. And on this particular Kromski wheel, they have 3 holes down here. I'm going to bring these ends up through here and take out any slack I have, and I'm going to simply tie an overhand knot and a little bow. You can be as decorative down here as you like. The important thing is that the connection here, footman to treadle, is secure, so when it goes up and down, they both move together, and you got a firm connection there. I think I've covered everything that I can think of in terms of wheel maintenance. There's probably things I've forgotten. If it makes sense, lubricate. Make sure you have an oil bottle around to do that. Some petroleum jelly, some candle wax, that's going to help you dry lubricants. Better to lubricate than not lubricate. You'll get better performance. Watch your joints. Make sure your wheel is aligned properly with the flyer, and make sure that the maiden posts on your mother of all over here, the bearings that hold the flyer, are parallel with one another so that the flyer rotates easily. The bobbin has to spin on that. Watch these things that can get loose or have to be replaced from time to time. But if you do this on a regular basis, it takes just a few seconds every time you go down to spin, and you'll have a better time at your wheel. It'll work better for you, and you'll have more fun, and it's easy to do. So that's maintenance. It works on the Kromski wheels. It works on any other wheel. Make sure you do it. I hope this has helped. Tim Horchler for New Voyager Trading and Tim Talks. Thanks for watching.